President Bongbong Marcos is set to deliver his fourth State of the Nation address a few weeks from now. Many expect the president to tackle various issues hounding the country, including the threat of U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs on Philippine goods. Business groups are also anxious to hear what the president will report about the country's economy and how his government will improve it. Today, we'll be speaking with Chris Nelson. He is the Executive Vice Chairperson of the British Chamber of Commerce in the Philippines. Good morning, Chris. Welcome to Business 360.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Let's start with, are you satisfied so far with the way the Marcos administration is handling the country's economy?
Yes, broadly, we are satisfied. I think particularly in relation to inflation. Inflation has been a challenge to many countries, and all credit to the president's economic team, obviously led by Secretary Recto. And we've seen inflation now, I think the last report was 1.4%. That actually is a significant achievement. A lot of that is due to efforts in terms of food prices. And in there, I think we as the Chamber have contributed in some small way through the supply of pork from the UK. So I think inflation has allowed the Banco Central to reduce interest rates. It also gives them scope going forward. On other aspects, obviously, they would like to have higher GDP numbers. Currently, I think they're looking at 5.6. But overall, Robert, yes, it's a good performance, particularly on inflation and giving scope for further rate cuts by the Banco Central.
Chris, with regards to your concerns and issues of the British Chamber of Commerce here in the Philippines, do you have a way to communicate directly with the government regarding these?
Yes, in all credit, actually, based on my long experience, I've been in the country over 20 years, we have very good connections. The Philippine government is open. We've had meetings with the Department of Finance, with Secretary Recto directly, with the Secretary of NEDA, Balasacan, with also Secretary Roque, who, as you mentioned, is on her way to Washington for the tariff discussions. We are an ARTA champion, so we have regular meetings with them. And also we met with PAGCOR. We met with the president of PAGCOR, Attorney Amy Isma. And I think this shows the great connections we have. So we do have regular interactions. We have an event coming up, by the way, Rob, on the 31st of July, which is our mid-year economic briefing. And we'll have representatives from the Department of Finance, from DTI, and also we're hoping from DICT. And let's not forget, we've just had a PESA trade mission, I'm seeing the pictures, in London with an investment forum on the 27th of June with Director General Panga when we presented opportunities in the Philippines. So yes, we do have close connections. We have ways of discussing with the government.
Chris, with the two-way communication with the British Chamber of Commerce and the government and other agencies, during those discussions, what kind of issues have your group raised with regards to Philippine business environment that should be addressed by the government today?
Look, we're constantly addressing various areas. I'd say I break it down as follows. Number one, of course, is ease of doing business. We work very closely, I said, with ARTA and the Secretary Perez. We do, and we think that's a key area, and there has been improvements, but we're obviously constantly pushing for that. We also discuss key priority legislation. We're very much supporters of E-Governance Act. We think that will speed up process. We've had discussions repeatedly on cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a threat not just to the Philippines, but across everywhere. And we really strongly urge that the cybersecurity, which is one of the priority bills, is passed. We also are strong supporters of the Open Transmission Act, the Tong Act. And again, I know that's under current study. So we engage. The final thing we'd like to also talk about is, of course, the limitations on foreign ownership. A number of those are still at 60-40. We understand from discussions with NEDA, those are looking at reducing that list. But obviously, we'd like to open up the Philippines to more direct foreign investment and to loosen those restrictions.
in addition to what you just have mentioned, Chris, you've been here in the country for more than 20 years. You've seen a lot of changes. Now, do you think currently the trade relations between the Philippines and the UK can still be improved? What other aspects in business should the government and the UK should look at to make it easier for British investors to come in?
Well, as I said, so first of all, the trade balance is, between the two countries is at an all-time high. It's £3 billion combined. That's both Philippine exports and UK exports to the Philippines. I'd also like to say that we've just upgraded our relationship to what they call JETCO, which is a Joint Economic Committee. That was in March, represented by Yusek Alengeti. We've just had discussions with PEZA, and British investors are very interested. They saw the opportunities, the advantages to come into being with PEZA. That was highlighted by Director General Panga, who's in the picture. We also have presentations from IBPAB. We also have presentation from Mama Brero, and it was hosted at HSBC. So what we're looking at, I think, is great opportunities to invest in the country. If you look also, next year will be the 80th year of diplomatic relationships between the two countries. So relationships are at a high. The UK sees the Philippines as very important. Finally, I'd just like to take this opportunity, Robert, to thank our ambassador, who's shortly about to leave after a very successful 4 years. That's Ambassador Lord Beaufils. And a warm welcome to the incoming ambassador, who will be Sarah Holton. And again, it's a reflection that we at the British Chamber and the British Embassy, and of course, Business and Trade, which is the key department in the UK, look at the Philippines. We see it as a very important market, not only in its own right, but as a way into Southeast Asia through trading agreements such as RCEP. And we're very pleased to see that the Philippines is looking to join CPTPP, which the UK is already a member of.
Chris, will Trump's tariffs on the Philippines affect your businesses here?
I think Trump tariffs are creating a degree of uncertainty across the world, as you know, Robert. And we appreciate the efforts the Philippines will make. It's very hard to predict those outcomes. The Philippines is currently at 20%, which obviously is lower than other areas. However, what I do think is happening is there is an incentive or a push to look at diversifying in other areas. I've referred to CPTPP, which is the consultative partnership, Trans-Pacific. The UK is a member of that, and the Philippines, we know, is preparing an application from that. And I think that's very important. I think what's very important is, yes, it's important that the Philippines obviously gets the resolution it wants from the tariff discussions with the US. But I think it also gives an incentive to look at other trading areas, which I think is happening. And I think strongly that based upon the recent PEZA visit and the interest levels we've seen, we will continue to see UK trade and investment between the two countries grow.
Now, Chris, if you could make 3 wishes to President Marcos, what would that be?
Well, my 3 wishes would be the following. Number 1, reduce red tape further. Further assist on ease of doing business. Pass key priority legislation, Cybersecurity Act, E-Governance Act, the Open Transmission Act. Let's follow through from those. And let's further reduce restrictions on foreign investment. Let's reduce the 60-40 rule. As Neda has said, let's bring that down. We'd like to see it completely open. We'd like to see, of course, foreign ownership. We appreciate they're trying the Long-Term Lease Act. But, of course, what we want to see is even higher foreign direct investment in the country. Those are my 3 wishes.
And finally, Chris, on a scale of 1 to 10, what rating can you give the Marcos administration's performance?
I would give it an 8, ocho. I think it is done very well, particularly with inflation. We particularly are encouraged by the open discussion we have between the officials, the way we've worked. We appreciate the progress made on the reduction on red tape, and we look forward to see priority legislation. We've seen legislation passed that we were supporting of in the 19th Congress, and we're looking forward to further passage in the 20th Congress. So
Okay, on that-
overall,
yes.
it's a good performance, and we look forward to working with the Philippine government further, particularly to boost trade and investment between our two countries.
Okay, on that note, thank you for joining us this morning, Chris.
Thank you very much, Robert, and a good day to you and all your viewers.
Okay, thank you. We're taking a quick break. Please stay.